Hello everyone and welcome back to Season 1 and Round 5 of our F124 My Team with Ford. Last week we did manage a 10th place in Suzuka. If you did miss that video, I do recommend you go ahead and check it out. As we have been progressing pretty nicely with our upgrades, still not able to catch the even Sauber, unfortunately. Yeah, we do have two upgrades coming on before the Chinese Grand Prix, though. Hopefully they do pass. Let's hop on into our activities here, where obviously we are going to be looking at helping the team the most. We're going to go with a sponsor event. We'll go with a durability equipment upgrade, and then power department focus. Everything just purely focused on helping the team. We do have 1.69 million that we can go ahead and apply as an upgrade. I think I am going to go ahead. Yeah, we'll go ahead and spend $1 million to increase the build time of our powertrain department. And then, oh, you know, we also need to invest in our simulator too and our pit equipment. Yeah, we definitely need to invest in our pit equipment soon. Now let's hop into our R&D. Let's see, monocoque structure we're just short on buying. The tire blankets, though, would come on before Miami. Not quite enough for that. What about the secondary wing flaps? Again, before Miami. What about this? Ooh, it would be before Miami. 40% failure. It is a minor, but it unlocks more in my engine. The question is do we go with the tire blanket upgrade that will help tire wear? I think our tire wear is okay anyway. I think I'm going to go with the spark plug upgrade. Now let's hop on in. Let's sim to the Grand Prix. Hopefully everything passes. It looks like it did. So let's hop on into practice now. So actually, before we hop into practice, a little weather update here. And I did forget it is a sprint weekend as well. So we do have only one shot at practice and then the sprint to set up for the race. The race is going to be a full wet race, though. It's expected to start in the wet conditions and finish in the wet conditions. Everything else is looking dry, though, so we may have to put a wet setup on for qualifying. Sacrifice some of our qualifying pace to maybe be a little bit quicker in the race.
China, how we've missed you from the calendar. It's great to be back here in Shanghai. We've got free practice for you coming right up.
Well, here we are for the first lap of practice here in China. Yeah, we're coming off a point in Japan. I want to just build on that and hopefully start making it a regular thing that we can go ahead and score points here. Obviously, our car is not the greatest car. Actually, it's the worst car on the grid currently, but I mean, we're bringing upgrades rapidly. We had such a slow, everyone else had such a head start on us. Obviously, being in Formula 1 a lot longer. Even though Ford has been in F1 before, and we are partnered with Red Bull, yeah, we haven't quite had the progress early in the year with the car that we would have liked. But, yeah, still a lot of room for improvement, but I think the team can get there. Last few corners here, just got to be easy on the tires as we are in the purple range for the practice program and just up on the delta. Got to be committed through the last corner. The hards really don't have much grip.
Okay, test complete, and that was a really good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Well done.
That is our first purple score of the weekend. And here we are for the race strategy practice program. Starting it out on the hard tire here. Looking to get some data for the team. Yeah, I'm not too great at China, honestly. Not my best track in the Enzo Fittipaldi driver career mode. I know we had a last lap scuffle with Danny Rick here. I do remember that. Yeah, hopefully we can have a better one this time. Learn from that. Honestly, I haven't raced here too many times. It is a pretty cool track, though. We are up on the delta here, too. Our pace looks reasonable. But yeah, we just need to have a nice, clean weekend here. Honestly, it's quite unfortunate that the team didn't have enough money to sign a better driver to start the year. as I just really don't have a reference point as the year goes on, because Frederick Vesti is just so off pace. I mean, he's honestly worse than Logan Sargent. I think Logan would be a better reference point. But hopefully, whenever we get a little bit more money, we can maybe sign someone a little bit better, say Alex Albon or Carlos Sainz, as we do invalidate there. Went just a little wide, overshot the corner. And that does mean we're going to have to do 3 more clean laps in a row here. Well, I brought it in and decided to give it another go on the same hards, because obviously we don't have very many sets of tires here this race weekend because it is a sprint weekend. And it's gone a lot smoother this time. Green in the first 2 laps, a second up on the Delta here, as we're coming through the last corner here, and this is going to be our second purple score of the weekend. Here we are for our qualifying practice program and our true test of pace for this weekend. First lap on the softs. I can already tell it's so much more grip than the hards. As well, we went a little wide there. Got to make sure to get it gathered. Get it through this corner. We were down on the Delta there momentarily. Down on the Delta still here. It is climbing though. Gonna have to stay brave through the rest of the lap. We're a little bit too cautious right there in that corner. Went down this final long back straightaway. Using a bunch of our battery. Opening the DRS. We're 4.5 tenths up. Hopefully we can get our last purple score here. Definitely a lot left to be desired on this lap as we go a little wide right there too. Open the DRS here, use the rest of our battery.
Program complete and a job well done. We got some excellent data with that run, so come on back to the garage and I can take you through the numbers.
Well, we got all 3 purple scores for the weekend, and our estimated qualifying position right there was 17th. Yeah, and that was a pretty scruffy lap. I think there was a lot of time we can find in it, so if they are right and we can pick up a little bit more time, we may be able to see our way through to Q2 this weekend.
Now here's something we haven't said for a little while. Welcome along to qualifying in China. After a few years' absence from the calendar, it is great to be back here. But just who is going to put their car on pole?
Here we are for the first lap of sprint qualifying 1. So we really need to get a good lap on the board, because obviously we only get 1 set of mediums here in sprint qualifying. So the first lap, when they're the newest, is gonna be our best chance, as we went a little bit wide there. Trying to get the power down here. Use the battery. This lap felt pretty good. I feel like there's definitely a little left to be desired, but felt decent.
Okay, that's P21 for us, P21.
Didn't open the DRS right away right there. That'll cost us a little bit. So we locked up and went a little wide. Oh, got a snap. That's going to be an invalidation as well, as it's going to be a 134.4. You're going to have to do another lap here. Our second attempt here at a lap for sprint qualifying. It's got to be better. Oh, we go wide, we dip our tire in the grass. That is just absolutely the worst thing we could have possibly did.
We've been pushed down to P22.
This lap does not seem like it's starting promising. Gotta be brave into there. Try to get on the power early. As that corner is just absolutely impossible to nail, I feel like. What are we gonna come across the line? Almost a validate again. It is we're 4 tenths off Sargent. Oh man. We need to find a lot. Unfortunately, we did not have enough time to go again, as we are knocked out in the first session of sprint qualifying, as are both the Saubers, the Williams of Logan Sargent, and Kevin Magnussen, as we are lining up last on the grid, 4 tenths clear of the 21st car. Yeah, definitely not what we expected. Thought my pace would have been better, but Yeah, I just wasn't able to hook up a lap when it counted. Hopefully that will not be the same for the actual qualifying for the Grand Prix.
So it's all about speed in today's sprint. Not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? Shanghai International Circuit then is a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests a driver's patience. And the flats, open to the elements location, test their skill in a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and they're available into turn 1 and down the kilometre-long back straight into turn 14. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. Edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Sainz, Oscar Piastri, Russell, Hamilton, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Stroll, Ocon, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Albon, Hülkenberg, Bottas, Vesti, Joe, Sargent, Magnussen and Thomas. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. And alongside me in the commentary box today, a man who I always look up to, which is easier said than done, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. So we're getting close to the start of the race. What will this driver be experiencing? Big nerves? Big excitement? What?
Always extra nerves at the start of the race, Gruffy. Probably at the start of the race, it's where your heart rate's at its highest in anticipation, and you've got to be in the right mindset. You've got to be thinking there inside the car, what can go right? How can I be opportunistic rather than what can go wrong, and how do I protect my position? Look forward and stay positive. It's easy to say, very hard to do when you're in that position.
Here we are on the grid in Shanghai, China for the sprint race. Starting dead last, rounding up the rear of the field here. As our strategy, they are recommending we go with the medium tire. Yeah, no, we can't even swap it to the softs and won't let us. Actually, won't give us an option to change, so we are stuck running the medium tire. I don't think the softs would have lasted anyway. Let's hop on into the formation lap and then the sprint.
The formation lap gets underway ahead of today's sprint. It's going to be interesting to see who gets pole position.
Yeah, everyone's starting on the medium tire here. High tire wear generally in China, so the softs I don't think would have made it that long, 10 lap stint.
As all the cars take their positions on the grid, the final preparations have been made, and all that's left is for the drivers to deliver on track.
Yeah, we're gonna look to try to slice through the field here, obviously starting P22. This race is really more about just gathering data for the team and making sure we don't mess the car up going into the Grand Prix, as we probably won't be challenging for points here, but yeah, we definitely can still challenge for points in the Grand Prix as long as we can just fix our mistakes up for qualifying and hopefully have a little bit better of a run. Obviously, we know our race pace is a lot better than our qualifying pace. And here we are under those 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. As Zhou Guanyu doesn't really get off the line too well there. Gonna look to try to make our way by him here as, oh, we just dipped our front wheel in the grass there. We're actually gonna drive by everyone here as they're all just Constantinering up right in front of us. And it's lights out and away we go. The sprint in China is underway as the Ferrari of, I believe that's Carlos Sainz, making his way around Lando Norris there early in the race, as Max Verstappen able to hold on to the lead into turn 1. Able to go under Bottas here now all the way up to P16. So we're up six spots, yeah, in just a couple corners here. Oh, they all break so early. We're now 3 wide here. Yeah, we got some underbody damage. We're gonna look to try to make this move work.
The underbody's incurred critical damage at this point.
Here's another look at that late braking move I pull off on Sonoda and Stroll as I dive deep down in there. And this does give us damage, but yeah, it really, from that point of view, looks like a pretty solid move as we're able to hang it around their outside and hold on to the positions. Here's another look at it from Bottas's onboard as we really just send it from all the way back, and it was honestly pretty clean. The fact that we got critical floor damage from that is pretty astounding. Alright, well, they said critical damage for the underbody. Not what we needed. I didn't think it looked that bad. But apparently Mark thinks it is. Oh yeah, that is pretty rough. So we're going to brake late again on the inside of the Haas here of Nico Hülkenberg, and we're able to make that move stick as well. We're slicing through the field here.
Okay, the start was fine. Let's try and move forward.
Slicing through the field, a little bit risky for us on that 3 wide pass, but I mean, they all just break so early. Yeah, they are braking very, very early here. We're just barely holding on to Ricardo Ed, and he's now managed to break the DRS on us. As yeah, with this underfloor damage, we are struggling. Now we're a sitting duck here on the straightaway. As our battery level's low, we have no DRS. Hülkenberg is far back, but it doesn't look like he'll be close enough this time to make a move.
To the car ahead, 1.7 seconds.
He is going to be close enough into turn 1, though, as Hülkenberg uses the DRS to go right by us here, as Lance Stroll is going to try to go on our inside. We're going to go defensive here. We will have the inside for turn 2, as I'm able to hold off the Canadian driver there. Now, hopefully, Hülkenberg can pull us up to the guys ahead, as Lance Stroll is going to challenge us on our outside again here. He is not done. So we're going to squeeze him off and able to hold the position here. Obviously, Stroll in a much faster car. At least this time we will have the DRS to defend. Also, we'll have the slipstream from Hülkenberg, so Stroll will probably look to challenge, but it'll be a lot harder for him. And Stroll getting a mega run out of that corner there. Absolutely insane. As we brake super late though, and we're able to hold him off. We applied the ERS at the wrong time right there. Oh my gosh. Here's another look at the spin as we go defensive on Lance Stroll there. Try to get the power down, get a good exit, and just lose the rear end. And we luckily correct it and keep it out of the wall, not costing the team too much in damages, but definitely hurt my ego. Oh man. As my car just went around as we were challenging Lance Stroll there. Well, it has been a sloppy sprint race here for me. As, yeah, we had that contact early in this, the race, which I don't think helped us too much. And then, yeah, our spin, obviously was not needed. And that has really hurt us. We weren't challenging for points anyway. But at this stage, we will take any decent finish we will get. I mean, obviously, we're a really new team on the grid. Frederick Vesti retires with an engine component failure. And now we're finishing P21 on track. Not the weekend, not the start to the weekend we would have wanted. Luckily, though, there is still a Grand Prix qualifying and still the Grand Prix.
Okay, be aware, the grip levels are going to start falling away soon.
As honestly, I'm still confident we can make something of this weekend and maybe score a point. Our pace was decent. We had good pace with damage. Hopefully they can fix the underfloor and maybe we'll have a better starting spot for the Grand Prix and we can make something of it. We had a really, really good start into turn 1. So if we were starting, say, 15th or something, we could have probably ended turn 1 around 10th place. So at the end of the day, we just got to make sure we have a decent qualifying effort. Max Verstappen wins the sprint race here in China as both the Fords are making up those last 2 spots. Vesti actually had a pretty decent qualifying, putting the worst car on the grid all the way up in P18. But yeah, just wasn't able to capitalize on it because of that engine component failure. Nothing to the fault of his own, as we have a really sloppy sprint. Get some damage on the car, make a spin, and we're going to bring it home in P21.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Well, that's an end to the sprint action. Next up, we'll set the grid for the Grand Prix. So we'll see you next time.
Max Verstappen wins the sprint race here in China with Lando Norris second and Charles Leclerc in third. The top 3 teams, 1, 2, 3, on the grid here for the sprint race. As both the Alpines, 10th and 11th, they look strong. The Mercedes round out the points finishing positions. And unfortunately, both of the Fords head up the rear of the field. Hopefully we will definitely look to correct that for the Grand Prix. Now let's get on into Grand Prix qualifying.
Now here's something we haven't said for a little while. Welcome along to qualifying in China. After a few years absence from the calendar, it is great to be back here. But just who is going to put their car on pole?
Alright, here we are, looking to start lap 1 of Q1 here for the actual Grand Prix. Obviously going to look to bounce back after that really rough sprint race here. Yeah, I mean, just not a great drive from myself. Could have had a decent finish, but I kind of threw it away. Let's see what we can do here, though, in qualifying. Get a decent run out of that corner. Turn 1 here, there's always a lot to be gained or lost. I feel like that was pretty decent. Try to get on the power here early, but make sure we don't get any wheel spin. Also, I feel like my battery is still at a decent level here. Oh, I went a bit wide. I tried to slow down a little bit so they didn't invalidate my lap. Luckily it worked. No invalidation there. Try to keep my minimum speed up there. Brake late. Eat as much curb as I can. Try to get on the throttle as quick as possible. Drain my battery here. Open the DRS. This lap felt pretty good so far. I'm interested to see what it's going to be. I don't think I have too much more than this. Obviously, the track will gain grip if I'm able to make it through. I did just have a major lockup, though. So there will be a lot of time to be found in that corner. Somewhat safe in that final corner as well. We open the DRS, and it's a 34-1. That's 4 tenths down on Albon, but we are quicker than our teammate. Alright, here we are, running up to our second attempt at a lap here in Q1. As, yeah, I did give myself time for a third attempt. Obviously, that wouldn't leave us with a new set of tires for Q2. But I think the best we're going to do is make Q2 anyway, though. So we may just have to use all 3 tires here, depending on how...
Okay, that's P21 for us. P21.
Depending on how good this run is. As, we are still ahead of our teammate. Obviously, he has just been terrible this week, this year. As we definitely are going to look to replace him the first chance we get. Oh yeah, we're already up 4 tenths here. And I know there's a lot of time to be found in that second to last quarter. Beautiful. 7.5 tenths up on the Delta. Open the DRS here. Gotta make sure not to lock up this time. I even braked quite a bit earlier that time. Got on the power. We're able to find some time. A little bit braver there. Almost 1 second up as we do a 33-1. Go to 10th place. Only 2 tenths off Sainz in that Ferrari. Well, there you have it. That was enough to get us through to Q2. Pretty comfortably, too, at the end of the day, as Logan Sargent just misses out, that second American driver, on making Q2. Both the Saubers out, both the Haas's out, and then, of course, our teammate of Frederick Vesti, the only person in the 34s, 3 tenths off of last place. So yeah, we definitely need to find someone else for that seat. As let's go ahead and see what we can do in Q2. Here we are for our one real shot to make it into Q3. As I did go ahead and set up banker on the used softs. It was pretty terrible, somewhere in the mid 34s. So yeah, we're definitely gonna have to put
30 seconds left in the session.
Put a good lap down here, as we have a pretty terrible exit there to the final corner. But that won't matter too much, as it isn't a huge run down into turn 1. As we're already up on the Delta here, we gotta make sure to stay committed. We need to gain almost 2 seconds if we want to make it into Q3. I don't think it's possible, but you never say never. Coming into the penultimate corner here, we are 8.5 tenths up. 1 second up. We go wide in that final corner. That's going to cost us 4 tenths.
2 minutes remaining in the session. We need a good lap here or we're out of qualifying. Come on.
Gain a little bit in that last corner, but the 4 tenths that it cost us is really going to eat at us. As that's P16 on the grid. Well, actually, looking at the timesheets here, those 4 tenths meant absolutely nothing, as we needed to pick up at least 6 tenths to get to Alexander Albon. I'm not sure I would have been able to do it. Yeah, I just don't think we had the pace in the car to quite go that quick. So I'm going to take this P16. It was a lot better than how we did in sprint qualifying. And hopefully we can move up in the race, have a clean race, unlike our sprint. And yeah, let's move forward on into the Grand Prix.
It's time again then for Formula One in Shanghai. Northwest of the thriving city of over 24 million people is a circuit that first featured in the championship calendar back in 2004. It played host to Formula One's 1000th Grand Prix back in 2019. The ever-tightening turns of 1 and 2 will prove tricky in the slippery conditions here in Shanghai, and anyone that slides wide will lose a lot of time getting back on track. Turn 14 should still be the best place for overtaking, but we'll have to see some improvement in the weather before the drivers can take advantage of that DRS assistance. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Oscar Piastri, Russell, Hamilton, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Tsunoda, Ocon, Ricciardo, Stroll, Gasly, Albon, Thomas, Sargent, Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Joe, Bottas, and Frederick Vesti. And now it's time to head down to the track. And striding into our commentary box to join us today, the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Davidson. And let's talk momentum with this driver. What a sprint it was. They start at 0 once again for today, but with a huge amount of confidence, surely. Well, they'll definitely be glad that there's not a sprint race today. Let's face it, the sprint couldn't have gone much worse, but what we're looking for today is a reaction. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They are right. The sprint went about as bad as it possibly could have. As they are saying it's inter to inter stop. It is supposed to rain the whole race, so that does sound about right. Yeah, it did look like there isn't too much standing water on the track right now, so we are going to have to watch the overheating of the tires, but definitely looks like it's most likely inter's condition as the rain looks pretty heavy, so let's hop on into it.
Right then, the formation lap has started, and I must say the weather conditions aren't the best today for visibility and for grip. As each driver performs this lap, they'll be wanting to settle in and concentrate, as this race, in these conditions, will require a lot of focus.
Well, Max Verstappen starts on pole position, nothing new here. Lando Norris outqualifies his teammate of Oscar Piastri, and Russell outqualifies Hamilton.
As the cars come back towards the grid to line up for the start of the race, each driver will be wanting to get the best start they possibly can, and they'll be hoping to finish today's race on the podium, and failing that, within the points.
Yeah, we would like to finish in the points here. Don't know if it's going to be possible. I do like to pride myself on my driving in the mixed conditions, so obviously the rain being the great equalizer, you never know. I don't, it's not out of the question. We did score points last weekend, so obviously we are looking to do it again, but P16 to points will be pretty tough. As Frederick Vesti pulls up in the last grid spot, he did elect to take a penalty as we are under those 5 red lights in the pouring rain in Shanghai, and it's lights out and away we go. We get a pretty good launch off the line
Okay,
there.
we're monitoring some wear on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power.
It's nothing, no big deal there, as it's expected to rain, so we won't need too much power. We're going to drive around everyone here. Oh, not quite able to send it up. Yuki Tsunoda's inside there. Oh, has definitely had a lot of grip there in my Ford EcoBoost Hybrid. And it's lights out and away we go. Here for the Grand Prix in China as Max Verstappen just gets an amazing launch off the line. The Dutchman always seems to just know how to get off the line so well, as it's a battle between the two McLarens. Who's going to come out ahead? And that's Lando Norris in P2 here, as he's able to hold off the less experienced Oscar Piastri. Here's another look on how we gained, I believe, 5 positions at the start of the race here, as we just had so much more confidence around that first corner, driving it around the outside of 4 or 5 cars there, sending it up the inside of the Alpine there of Esteban Ocon, and we're able to get the power down. Absolute massive start for us here. As we do have 56% wear on our ICE, but that's not too bad. I think we'll be okay as the Grand Prix develops. As Yuki Tsunoda gets a better line through that corner. I was trying to send it around his outside, but not quite able to. Now we're gonna look under his inside here. This is for that last points paying position, and we're able to make it stick, sliding around here. Now we gotta close back in on Fernando Alonso. As sliding again here. We have no grip. I have my diff all the way down. I've tried to make setup changes, put a little bit of extra downforce on the car. Yuki Tsunoda is going to try to make a move on us.
All right, let's focus now for the rest of the race.
We're going to brake as late as we possibly can. We managed to get the car stopped quite nicely there, honestly. Pretty good defense on our side. We're going to run a little wide there, though. Luckily, we don't get a warning. FIA was quite generous there.
You're in the top 10 now. Keep it up.
Gotta try to look to stay with Alonso in the front bunch here. We seem to have a lot more pace than Alonso here. Oh, I wanted to look to his inside. I thought better of it there, though. As that could have cost us our front wing. The Spaniard really not wanting to give any space. Oh, it was a late move by us. We did lock up our tires going into that corner there. Oh, it's just a low grip situation here in China. Gotta wait forever to get on the power there. As we had caught back up to Alonso, but I tried to make an ill-timed maneuver and that really cost us.
So this rain could be with us for a while. Light rain conditions for the foreseeable future. We're not certain which is the best tyre right now, dries or inters.
As you can see, we are absolutely cooking our rear tires. Yuki Tsunoda's going to look to get a run here with the slipstream using his battery. We're going to use our battery in defense. We're going to brake late. We brake way later than him. We're able to get the car stopped and get on the power quite nicely. As our defense on the Japanese driver today has been absolutely immaculate so far. Only 4 laps in though. Already 29% wear on our rear tires too, 4 laps in. That is absolutely crazy. Oh, we drifted through this corner here. The grip in that corner is so low on exit. I mean, you just gotta wait forever to get the power down, and if you rush it just a little too much, you're just sideways playing Formula Drift. As we gain a massive amount of time in that final corner with our late braking. We weren't quite able to get on the power like we like to though right there. Oh, we go a little wide in that final corner as well. Still no warnings, and we are pushing the absolute limits on what the FIA will allow. So Noda's going to get a run here. We're going to use the rest of our battery, try to hold him off. We brake late. Oh, we lock it up though. We go wide. And through goes Tsunoda. And we get a warning for exceeding track limits. That's about as bad as it could have gone right there for me. My rear tires are absolutely shot. I have no grip. My rear grip is just gone. I feel like I'm absolutely on ice. Absolutely on ice. Those yellow flags are out. So we're going to have to go defensive here as they're getting a massive run. This time we're able to get it stopped, no lockups, and go defensive on the Alpine as Zhou Guanyu is out of the session here, having a mechanical failure at your home Grand Prix. That is just absolute heartbreak for the Chinese
Okay, you're dropping a few tenths per lap to the car ahead. They're just edging away.
Unfortunate for Zhou Guanyu and the Sauber outfit as at his home Grand Prix. I mean, I'm sure he would have loved to be challenging for points, but instead he's watching from the sidelines. Now Daniel Ricciardo out of the session as well as the V-Carb driver and the Sauber drivers out in consecutive laps. As our tire warning light has flashed on here. Still early in the stint, only about halfway, actually about exactly halfway through where we need to be. And our tires are already very worn. We may have to go with a 2-stop here. I think at this point we have to commit to the 2-stop.
Right, let's not stay behind this car for too long. We need to get past.
We need to either bring it in on lap 9 or lap 10 here. And probably pit at lap like 20. And then try to get to the end. Because there's no way we're going to take these tires 6 more laps. Alright, I'm boxing. I'm bringing it in.
Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please.
I can't risk it. We're risking a puncture here. And, yeah, It's just, we need to bring it in. As we go defensive on the Alpine. I can't believe we got it stopped there. Pull on into pit lane here. Let's make sure we don't do a Lewis Hamilton as we almost do a Lewis Hamilton. I think we definitely lost some time there, but at least we didn't wreck it. As whew, the car is definitely very, very slidey.
Okay, mate, that's it. Go, go, go. Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
Beautiful strategy by us. I mean, beautiful pit stop by us. As now we just gotta hope that the strategy actually works. And we need to start cutting into the deficit of the guys ahead. I think the AI is going to try to one-stop it still. I don't know how they're going to make those tires go to lap 14. There are some tire whisperers. But, yeah, mine were, there was no shot they were ever going that far. Actually, I see a car pulling into the pits. So I think the AI realized the same thing I did. As, you're probably going to have to two-stop this race.
Hulkenberg is stopping now.
As now we're able to jump Hamilton there, right behind the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz, as the undercut has worked massively for us here. The strategy. Oh, let's go. Now we just need to put the good laps in and try to stay with these quick cars. 3 wide into that corner as our teammate of Frederick Vesti goes defensive on Carlos Sainz. Carlos makes it through, but Vesti doing his best to help us here. As Hamilton gets a little bit of oversteer and we're able to drive by. We're going to grab the slipstream off our teammate here. Use the battery. Vesti's going to go defensive. We're going to look to his outside. We have much fresher tires here as we're able to make the move stick around the outside. As we are now up to
the car
P8.
ahead, 1.7 seconds.
P7 actually, as Yuki Tsunoda now cycles through his pit stop as well. As the undercut worked massively, as those tires had just fallen off a cliff for everyone. We're not quite able to catch Carlos Sainz, and that Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton is lurking right behind us, grabbing our slipstream. He's gonna try to make a move on us eventually, and we need to be ready. We're deploying the battery here. So is Hamilton, most likely. He's grabbing the slipstream. He's going to try to go under us. I'm using the battery. He tucks back in, not quite having it. Never mind. He's going to look to make a late lunge. We give him the space. Get a little bit of oversteer on the exit of the corner. We are side by side into this final corner. Hamilton's going to brake late. I'm going to brake later, though. And we make the move stick. Oh, Lewis Hamilton dives under us unpredictably. I did not see that coming. The drive he got off that corner.
That's us down a place.
He did make contact with us. We're going to grab his slipstream, though. Used all of our battery. He's going to go defensive on the inside. We're going to dive to the outside. Brake late. We got to make sure we give him the space. We're side by side again through this same corner. I'm able to clear him, though, before the final corner this time. As, yeah, Hamilton making some unexpected moves here.
Gap to your teammate behind, 26.6 seconds.
I guess you should never know what to expect from a 7-time world champion, as he has just so much more grip than me in that Mercedes. He's able to drive up the inside like it is nothing. I didn't want to give him the position, but I don't think there's much more I can do. Hamilton just gets such good drive off that corner there, down this long straight. I'm just not able to get on the power as quick as him. I mean, he gained at least 4/10 there on the exit. I'm just trying to hang on here. Obviously, I think I'm going to get a second undercut on the next pit stop as well. So if I'm able to get that undercut as well, and it works as good as the first one, I think I'll be able to re-get Hamilton, but then it's going to all come down to the defense again. Perez looking to make a run here in that much faster Red Bull car. We're able to deploy our battery quite strategically, though, and hold them off. Brake late as well, as the Red Bull just isn't quite able to make the move on us here. Just been trying to not let Hamilton get too big of a gap, but haven't really been succeeding. As oh, Perez is going to make the same move Hamilton made on us as
might make a mistake.
We go wide. We almost lose the car there. We're going to grab the slipstream here off of Ocon. Tsunoda gets boxed in there by Ocon. We're going to brake late and try to at least keep this position here, as we are going to box this lap.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Throw on a new set of intermediates here and look for another undercut, as Albon and a lot of drivers in as well this lap.
We had an issue attaching the left front wheel. I know it's not ideal, but let's try and put that behind us and get back into this race.
Still out ahead of Albon.
Okay, Frederick's in the pits. Frederick in the pits.
That right there is gonna cost us a ton of time on the guys that we were battling, like Perez. I think Sargent's on the old tires, so he's gonna hold Albon up a ton. Williams will probably be on the radio to Sargent, telling him to move over.
Just so you know, we're getting some strange readings from a couple of the sensors, so I don't think you need to be worried, just some bad data, so keep doing what you're doing. I'll let you know if we notice any genuine problems.
We just got a warning there, gotta be extra careful with those. As let's see where we shake out in the order. We beat Ocon out, we beat Stroll out. We're 13 seconds behind Sainz. And 16 behind Russell, so I can only think that they kept Lewis Hamilton out one more lap.
So your ERS is running a bit low. Look into changing your ERS mode in the MFD for a more conservative burn rate, or you might want to try some lifting or gentle braking to recharge.
Which is good for us. Perez obviously still out as well, as those are the people we're trying to undercut and trying to get back past. Alonso, Perez, and Hamilton all in the pits here. Here's we'll see where we'll shake out for this final stint.
10.9 seconds.
As Perez coming out behind, but Sainz and Hamilton still able to make sure that they cover us off. Hamilton still having 4.5 seconds plus newer intermediates, so definitely a good move by that Mercedes crew. As Ocon is all over our rear diffuser here. We're going to have to be defensive on the Frenchman. Oh, Ocon's going to look to our inside here. We're going to brake late. He's going to go to our outside. We're going to have to leave him the space. Never mind, we clear him.
One of the Mercedes cars is next. Come on.
A Tsunoda in the pits now as well. Real late stop by the Japanese driver, as he will have a massive tire delta on everyone, but I don't know if he'll be able to use it in these last 5 laps. Perez is going to look to the inside of Ocon here. Ocon's going to go defensive. He's also going to try to dive to our inside there. Just take a peek though, as he really was more just trying to hold off the Mexican driver of Perez. We got 5 more laps to go here. We need to be consistent and try to bring these points home for the Ford Performance EcoBoost team. 4 more laps to go here. Just trying to do my best to hold these 2 drivers behind me off. Ocon is trying to look to my inside there. I'm pretty strong in these first 2 corners though, so I feel pretty confident they won't make a move there. It's that long back straightaway that I'm the most worried about. But I've tried to just been saving my battery and then strategically deploying it on that straightaway. And so far it's been working out well for me. As Ocon and Perez side by side here, it looks like the Mexican driver of Perez is gonna get the better of him, and he does. Makes the move stick. Yeah, that Red Bull will be harder to hold off than the Alpine. Most likely the Red Bull with a lot better top speed. See, we just drain our battery there, and the rest of the lap, it's pretty tough for them to pass us as long as we don't make any mistakes and go offline. It's been working so far. We just gotta hope that we can stay consistent, not make any mistakes, and bring this race home.
Okay, so we're leading up.
Yellow flags are out here late in the day. Not sure why, as Ocon has dropped off behind us. Can only assume
Okay,
that...
here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 12.1 seconds.
Can only assume that something happened to the Alpine. So here's the reason Esteban and Ocon dropped out of that points-paying position and contention for a really good finish. He just loses it. Obviously, really hard conditions for everyone to drive in, and the grip has been low, so very understandable. Perez gets to run. We were asleep, and I was looking at my ICE. We deployed our battery a little bit late, and the Mexican driver really made sure to pounce on it there. We didn't give him much room. We were well ahead by the apex, though, and were able to hold him off. We have to be focused these last 2 laps here. One last lap here at the Chinese Grand Prix. Can we hold off Sergio Perez? Alex Albon in that final points-paying position here, looking to hold on to 10th and bring a point home for Williams. Yeah, that would be 2 shocking point scorers as Ford and Williams getting points. Obviously, not a regular occurrence. The defense job we have done on Sergio Perez here is nothing short of a masterclass, honestly. As we're holding off arguably the fastest car on the grid. Definitely not the best driver, but the fastest car is Lando Norris wins here in China. McLaren starting the year absolutely strong. As Oscar Piastri won last week, Lando Norris wins this week, and Sergio Perez gets a massive run on us down under this last long back straight. We're going to drain our battery. Luckily, we saved it all for this exact occasion. Drain every last ounce of it. Brake late. So does Sergio. We gotta give him some space. Oh, we almost collide. I get some oversteer. It's gonna be a drag race to this last corner. We're able to get the line and the inside as it's checkered flag here in China. And that's 8th place and 4 points.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Also, driver of the day. We love to see it. As that was well deserved, 16th to 8th.
Here's the checkered flag, and our winner has landoed. It's Lando Norris for victory.
Well, are we looking at a champion in waiting today, Crofty, with that kind of performance? They were driving with the kind of lack of pressure that you quite often see when a driver knows, they just know within themselves that that championship is within their reach.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving that they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track.
Well, it's a McLaren 1-2, and McLaren are absolutely dominating the start to this season. They're going to have to bring upgrades, though, as you know Red Bull will. And they're going to have to stay consistent. Can Lando Norris put together his first World Drivers' Championship?
After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
Well, there you have it. Lando Norris wins here in China with Max Verstappen grabbing 3rd place. It's a McLaren 1-2, and after Oscar winning last week, Lando, I believe, won in Australia. So, yeah, it has just been an absolute fire start to the year for McLaren, and they're going to have to keep this momentum going if they want to challenge Max, because you know Max will be relentless, and he will not let up. As we are able to bring it home in P8, absolute mega result for us. In the wet, all the way starting in P16, making our way up to P8 in those wet weather conditions. Absolute mega drive from us. As let's take a look at the driver's standings. We now have 17 points and are only 9 short points behind Lewis Hamilton. That is not very much at all. As Lando Norris leads the Drivers' Championship by 4 points over Max Verstappen, and Oscar Piastri is only 30 points behind. Yeah, I mean, it is going to be a three-way battle, it is looking like, but they will have to all stay consistent and bring upgrades, obviously. So we will see how that develops, as let's take a look into the Constructors' Championship. As, yeah, Sergio Perez is really letting Red Bull down. And McLaren is looking to walk away with the Constructors' Championship if something doesn't change here in the near future. And we got 17 points in P6, ahead of Williams, VCarb, Alpine, Kick Sauber, and Haas. So, yeah, we just need to keep bringing upgrades, try to better the car, and hopefully have more strong race weekends like this. Yeah, thank you to everyone who watched the video. Please like and subscribe, and you guys have a great day.